I'm looking for an audience and I can't find it.
News. Yes, Metaworld News. 10th of October, or at least the headlines we're going to give you are the headlines for the week ending 10th of October, with a couple of exceptions. And that's the day we're recording this. My name is Mal Burns. That's Mal, one word, and Burns, a second word. But if you want to find me on Twitter, which is actually where I post the links to all this stuff, then you have to go to twitter.com/Malburns, Malburns, one word. Yep, that's a squash job. Incidentally, there is another feed at Twitter for this program, which is twitter.com/MetaWorldNews. Again, two words squashed. Although that is fairly sparsely populated these days, although that's not always going to be the case, I hasten to add. But the focus there is on virtual worlds rather than just the overview. Anyway, yes, having said that, what else have I forgotten? No, I've got the days here and I've got everything else. I've introduced myself, so it's time to introduce the other chap that's sitting next to me here, and it's none other than James Atloud.
Oh, hello, Mal. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you okay, fine.
All right.
No hiss or anything today, so there we go.
No hits either. Oh my goodness, what's
Yeah,
happening?
what's
Um,
happening? The pipes are getting good
the
for
pipes,
once.
the pipes, they are a calling.
The pipes, they are behaving, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And yes, and an Out Loud T-shirt for the day.
Yeah, yeah, I got a T-shirt. This is one I'd had before, and
Ah,
it's from someone named Entity, Entity Store on Sansar. And again, I'll pan over to the audience, and you can see, I really like these glowy shirts. So the avatar in the audience has the very pretty glow, the
ah.
the illuminating um, illuminating shirt style. So very
Very
fun.
good. Well, of course, behind the scenes, God, you're on your no. I still wait, man. You can't find the audience. You're all on your own.
I am.
I did hear an applause, but they seem to have gone again. No, this is awful. Can't do a show without an appreciative audience. Dear me. Yeah, I don't know. Right. Okay. Well, as well as all that, James is busy fiddling with knobs. He's always fiddling with knobs. They're knobs that control the picture you see and the sound you see. In other words, he will show you my desktop. He'll show you a bit of my picture gallery. He'll show you an offline video if I ask him to, and I've got it ready. And he'll show you multiple views of my avatar here, so that the whole thing looks a bit more lively than a single talking head with nothing happening. Yes, the wonders of modern
As best as we can, right?
wonders of modern technology. Yes, sort of. Right. So yeah, doing all that and sorting out the sound and everything else, so we can bring you a good show. A good show. Because he puts on a good show. Jolly good show. What? Yes. Enough of that. My accents are wandering. I'm about to go down the rabbit hole already, imitating. Well, it wasn't Boris, but somebody of his ilk. Right. Okay. Now, before I get on to general links, because I don't really have any links about this that we're talking about, but it's obviously the biggest news of the week that affects the metaverse, or the M word, I should say, virtual world. It affected everybody, and that is Monday's disappearance of the God Emperor's empire. Yeah, not only did the fastball disappear, but so did Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger, and just about any other service that, of course, Oculus, any other service that actually required you to log in via Facebook. Now, in a way, this is a good thing because it's woken up, it's like a wake up call. They were down for 6 hours, which in internet time, they might as well have been down for a century. I mean, that the disruption to business, not to mention personal, messenger calls and things like that, but disruption to business and everything else was radical. And they made a point of fixing it, saying that I don't know, some socket, whatever. But the horror of horrors is that come Friday evening, oh, I think it's evening my time, if I recall. The same thing happened again, for the very same reason, which makes us think that we really can't really trust this company. Now, I mean, regular viewers know my thoughts on, whatever, but just remember that this is the company that recently announced the future existence of what I call the Zukiverse, you know? And how we expect Lord Zuki to run the Zukiverse when he can't even run his existing empire? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I've got this graphic here, but I've got another. We got a couple of other snippy sort of things on this front too. Um, oh, there is the asshole. That wasn't what I wanted. Right, Tat Donahue. This was one on Twitter. Actually, it's more easy to see here than it is on my screen. Retweeted. It says humanity sighs a breath of relief, if only for a short while. This, of course, is referring to the number of hours that Facebook was down. Not only are Facebook. This is quite important. Not only are Facebook services and apps down for the public, but its internal tools and communication platforms, including Workplace, were out as well. So it wasn't just we that suffered, all their employees did too. And nobody could do any work. And it meant actually that they had a bit of a problem contacting the right people internally to try and fix the problem, because their internal communications were down too. I just, hilarious. Anyway, several people the writer talked to said this is the equivalent of a snow day at the company. So that was one bit of whatever. Right, now this one, I forget where this quote actually came from, but I'm talking about this is really, the outage has huge implications. If this were just about people being unable to post cat videos for a few hours, that would be one thing. So come on, what is life without cat videos?
Without a cat video, right?
Yeah. But WhatsApp is effectively a critical piece of communications infrastructure in many countries, routinely used for communication between patients and doctors, for example, and used by many for payments. The extended outage has drawn attention to how vulnerable the entire world is to failures of this nature. By the way, I did read later, just some facts and figures, is that America is the one who suffered least, not because it didn't happen, but because in America people do not rely on things like WhatsApp to the extent the rest of the world does. We use it as our phone, like Skypes and things. It's I don't think it's quite as what's the word? Every day in the States, but that don't really matter. I mean, also the personal fortune of Zuckerberg was, going down by millions as the clock ticked by, let alone Facebook's values and stuff. So
I just have one word for the world, or one phrase for the world, and that is the cost of free is very high. How does that sound?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's never been free, but this is even worse. I mean, if you pay cash for this service, you can probably sue them, for failing to provide the service. But you don't pay cash. You do actually pay them, but you pay it in sort of intangible data about yourself and your friends and everything else. You can't demand that cash back. Anyway, for millions of people who relied on Google dial-up network servers to reach every server on the planet, imagine those servers going down for an extended period. That wouldn't just affect consumers, it would disrupt commerce and critical infrastructure, factory production, fleet transport, retail, the works. This, I might add, would be on top of COVID and Brexit in our case. The whole world is critically dependent on a relatively small number of servers, all of which could be taken offline by a mistake of the kind that happened here. A lot of thought needs to be put into how we prevent a far more significant internet outage in future. So that little quote there, I think, pretty much says it all in terms of summary. Um, and yes, there was something else to go on with? Oh no, I got a couple of other pictures here that they're slightly not slightly less relevant. I think where that was a bit that was that. No, I think that really said it all. Yeah, this was a graphic for, I don't know where it was. I think it was HTC Vive or something rather than Oculus. There was a new one of that coming out. This graphic confused me. Oh, God. Let's see. This graphic confused me slightly. Um, but interesting. The thing that I don't quite get is the idea that you're imprisoned in the Facebook, and you to see outside into the world, you've got to open up. You look through the periscope of the Facebook thing out the window. But otherwise, you're trapped in Facebook. But I didn't quite. That symbolism got blown away a bit by the fact that that big metal door seems to have been opened.
Well,
So
yeah, you're free to not use Facebook,
yeah.
but you
Oh yeah.
still do,
But
right?
you still, yes, yeah, okay, that's the symbolism. Yeah. Okay, so that I pulled up that graphic actually while I was in the meeting on Friday. But
And whose fault is that you still use Facebook?
yeah. Anyway, that was sort of interesting. What else have I got here for the week? Oh yeah, this is. I'm not sure why she was in the news. The Ingrid Benchy's pioneer work in signal processing. I don't think it doesn't. I don't think it's an obituary or anything. I think it's just a good picture. Oh yeah, here we are. Right. This was another post. Roblox releases new
Oh,
metaverse.
poor
They
Mel.
use metaverse rules.
Poor
No
Mel.
politics. No politics, romance, or cross-platform promotion of its virtual reality currency allowed. Um, this, just forgetting the God Emperor's network for the moment, Roblox is not part of that. It's another one of these sites that thinks it can build itself, be the metaverse, the M word. But what's not so happy here is the way censorship is kind of looming. Um, you can't talk about politics. You certainly you can't even go to romance, let alone all the sexual activities, and you can't even mention other platforms. And yeah, the odd thing is also their virtual currency can't be promoted outside their own world, which is odd because you'd think that would be the one thing they want to promote outside of their own world. But anyway, it does seem like it's this new puritanism. And it's tech companies that once would have been the very liberal companies, are now becoming the companies that, no, you can't do that on our platform. Oh, let's, sort of, they're quite happy to tell you what you can't do, but they don't guarantee to allow you to do what you can do. So, bad news all round. This was a picture from where? I think this is Dr. Fran posted this one. I think it was Sansar. I can't be entirely sure. It was a psychedelic.
Avatars look like Sansar, yeah.
Yeah, psychedelic adventure of sorts. Anyway, moving on up my thingy. There's another quote here. Oh yeah, this is just a quote I found, which is interesting. Well, Twitter: social VR has turned us all into cartoon characters, and for some, it's the most liberating thing. Changing mediums involves swapping existing conventions around bodies and behaviors with new ones. Hopefully, fresher, freer, and more inclusive.
Hey,
So, love it.
who are they calling cartoon characters?
I don't know. Well, actually, I sometimes tell people, for the people I know from the days when I worked with comic books, who've never picked up on virtual worlds, or they read online blogs and comic news groups, and that's about it.
Yeah, I'm looking on
Uh,
screen right
I,
now. I don't
I,
see a cartoon character.
yeah, well, sometimes I will be in conversation with them, and I will jokingly say, sort of, oh, I don't read comics anymore. I live in a comic book.
Oh, okay.
Why not? Okay, one other return. I can't think of why they might have done this. On this picture, the branding is still there, but very rapidly this week, Facebook Horizon changed its branding to Horizon Worlds, and it's actually dropped. It's even dropped the bit at the bottom that says Facebook now. Apparently, it seems to have occurred to them that they might be safer promoting this without letting on that it's them. Wonder why. But of course, how can you run a metaverse if you can't keep your services up? You're going to still need dial-up networking and domain service networking and routers and servers and stuff. And I don't think, to be honest, it looks like you won't have enough money left to launch the Horizons anyway. So, what else have we got here? It's not relevant to our show at all, but this is a picture of Jimmy Carter installing solar panels on the roof of the White House in 1979. Reagan removed them in 86 to coincide with him obliterating a DOE research budget for renewable energy. So, if you're worried about climate change and non-renewables and everything else like that, it looks like you can also blame Reagan now, or Reagan, or whatever, Reagan with his ray gun, or whatever it was. I don't know. Thatcher liked him, but then again, nobody liked Thatcher either. So, this is coming up in 2 days' time. October the 12th is Tuesday, hosted by Kent By. This is the Web XR Design Summit. And I'm a bit annoyed because I had 2 pictures of this, but this one, which is bigger and more graphic, doesn't have the damned address on it, does it? All it does tell me is it's 5 p.m. in the afternoon in London, it's 4 p.m. European, 12 noon New York, and 9 in the morning in Seattle. And 6 in the evening in Paris, and it's so small I can't read Beijing and Sydney, but there you go. There'll be some interesting conversations here about people. In our case, maybe imagine web worlds on a web page, but basically anything of our ilk, so to speak, that actually runs on the web foundation. Is being discussed there. If as we go along, I may actually be able to locate the address, so we will have to see. And but otherwise, we're finished there. So I'm going to put the picture post away. Maybe give myself a bit of extra memory. And here we are. We're on the first of our weekly links, so to speak. Pardon me, poking a bit there. Must be the coffee. Right, October the 4th, that was, of course, the beginning of the week, and every Monday or Tuesday, in fact, the Skull Ghost publishes the XR Week Peak, which is a look. Yes, sorry, thank you. Right, the Skull Ghost, indeed. Right. Well, I don't need to cue that now, do I? Right. So this is actually a look back on the week, at the beginning of the last week. So it's really not a look back at last week, but the week before. It's just a roundup thing. He's apologising for being busy and everything else with that. He talks about Vive. There's another post he does about that coming up later. This was probably announcing, which happened later in the week. What other game controllers? This is Valve again. Nreal glasses. We actually did cover those last week, and more about the world of Oculus and whatever. Something that's actually quite interesting. Is we mentioned previously that the is it called Oculus Go or something, the early headset anyway.
Yeah, the Go.
Yep. It's now been open source, so people will be able to hack it for their own uses. But the interesting thing is, at some point this week, I'm not sure that I've actually got the link up, but some kid, hacker kid as usual, has actually figured out a way to get your Oculus Quest 2 working without actually connecting to Facebook. So some people are rather happy about that as well, because obviously, if Facebook disappears again, you might just be able to rig up that Oculus thing to work without them. You know, good side to everything, I suppose, if you can call it that. Tokyo Game Show report, fast few other things. Anyway, this is really a roundup. Um, yeah. Oh, and noting that although the pandemic's been hurting location-based VR, then the Void and various others are looking like they might be back online. Well, online in the real world, if you see what I mean. Anyway, I'm putting that one away because it is sort of a case of old news, really. But essential roundup, and yeah, moving on to the beginning of the week, and the first one got here is this is vrscout.com, vrscout.com. And the CEO of a company called Ready Player Me is talking about VR avatars and the dreaded M word, really. But this something is quite useful. I did say to somebody recently that to me, it's almost as though the metaverse, if it does exist at the moment, is a combination of Ready Player Me and Discord. By Ready Player Me, I don't just mean the fact that they make avatars that you can then import all over the place, but they also run a kind of destination site. So they've got links on one web page to lots of different platforms that you can jump into, and they actually use Ready Player Me's avatar. Some of those are on the web, so the portal actually acts just like a linking teleporting system. Others are not. So obviously the link posts to where you can download the platform from. But I like the idea that obviously they're not going to include links to virtual spaces that don't support their own avatars. So it's not an exhaustive list of places to go, but it's quite well populated. There are quite a lot of places already using the Ready Player Me avatars as part of their otherwise separate platform. Anyway, their CEO of Ready Player Me, this is interviewed here at VR Scout, and quite an interesting kind of interview. Um, yeah. Well, I won't go into what he says there, so illustrated and what have you. But yeah, good interview that about cross-platform stuff. So that's at vrscout.com, vrscout.com. And we will put that one away and move down the list here to my notifications here. Virtual live band, gig calendar. That's the second live thing. If you're watching and want to see this virtual live band, they're starting in half an hour, I believe. Right. Despite appearances comparing emotion recognition in abstract and humanoid avatars using non-verbal behavior in social virtual reality. Gosh, golly. What the fuck does that mean? I'll read that slowly. Okay, this well, no, look, I'll be trying to be serious here. This, as you can see, is somewhat academic. Although it quotes a few. What can I say about something like that? It's all in the title, really, and it's definitely something that a lot of people will be interested in, and other people equally wouldn't. So, despite appearances, right? So you're comparing emotion recognition in abstract and humanoid avatars using non-verbal behavior in social reality. So I suppose it's talking about using your, well, you've got text, so that's non-verbal, but I imagine they're trying to talk about signaling with avatars, like an avatar that can wave, presumably, is conveying something non-verbally. Anyway, it's a serious enough topic for somebody to have done serious academic thing on it. So you'll find this at a site called frontiersin.org, FRONTIERSIN. So it's all one word, .org. It's one of those funny ones. I keep wondering where the word, it should be frontier sin or frontiers in, I think it's the latter,
Ha.
but it doesn't really matter, does it? Right. Sometimes these names. This is what happens when they did squashing of names. You can't tell what they were like unsquashed. But I assure you, I am Mal Space Burns. Except at Twitter and everywhere else where I am squashed. But at least I can tell you, you can't mistake my name
I don't think
for
so.
anything.
No.
Anything else, really. But this one you can. Okay, frontiersin.org. That one, let's take that one away. All right, this is digiday.com, digiday.com. And why an exercise bike wants to bring gamified fitness to the bloody M place. And look at, I like the picture because it seems to be an iconic cycling thing until you realize that the wheels are dollar signs. Right. Basically, it's an exercise bike captor is looking to bring physical fitness into the metaverse, and unlike Peloton, as if their gamified cycling platform is built on the Unreal Engine, priming it for cross compatibility with a slew of pre-existing virtual worlds. Now, yeah, this actually is quite interesting and also true. Um, I was on Amazon during the week looking to possibly get myself an indoor exercise bike. And they range from ones I'd have to make space for to tiny little ones that can fit under your desk. But what I really fancied was something I'd known about for quite a while, although I'm not sure, is ones where you can put your pad in front of you while you're cycling and actual cycle round in open sim or something across terrain, and it would require an app that basically moved your avatar or the horse you were riding or whatever, galloping along in conjunction with your pedaling, and then the handlebars would be your kind of steering. So it's quite a natural interfacing kind of mechanism. And some of the ones I was looking at, they did actually come with apps, but and one of them actually said thousands of virtual reality places to ride along or whatever. But they were all actually glorified holodeck things, the so-called one with thousands of worlds. It was basically somebody had gone around photographing panoramas and stuff and, making a mock-up of something that, let's just say, I don't think I'd be very convinced pedaling along in those environments, even though there were a lot of them. So what is interesting here is in the first paragraph, it actually says this Captives gaming platform is built with the Unreal Engine, which actually primes it for cross-compatibility with a slew of pre-existing virtual worlds. So, I mean, I can say, well, OpenSim, Second Life, Sciencebase, what of them. They're not also with the Unreal Engine, so they don't count. But an increasing number, it's like Unity. There's Unity and the Unreal Engine. There's others besides, but those are the two biggest ones for actually authoring virtual worlds. And the idea that something like this, because it's built with the Unreal Engine, it means it's software for controlling the bike and everything is actually like you can just plug it in to any world you might be in that's created with the Unreal Engine, um, assuming that world supports the idea of cycling. It's not going to. If you're a bubble in outer space, I don't know how much cycle's going to help. But nevertheless, I mean, of course, the main thing is that you can do exercises at the same time. And some of the bicycles come with apps that really strictly tell you how many miles you've just cycled, even though you haven't moved from the spot, and how many calories you burnt, and all the rest of it. Which basically they plug into Apple's Health interface or similar. So anyway, quite interesting because this bike could be actual fun. I don't think it's around yet, so I don't know how much there will be or how to buy one actually. But anyway, it tells you a bit more about it here. Oh yeah, here we are. It's pre-sale price tag is $2,500 US. which is likely to be out of reach for 60% of the Fortnite players who are between 18 and 24. Yeah, so Fortnite is presumably, an Unreal platform. So that's the one they've chose to compare it with. Yeah, but it's like anything else; these things go down. I mean, for any of you know, my partner from some years back now. I mean, she bought the very original Oculus. Now, it wasn't at that time owned by the God Emperor, Zuki, and is it Palmer Lucky? Was it somebody who started it? Anyway,
Yep.
and it costs quite a bit, far more than Oculus does now. So if you start at $2,500, give it a few years. If it works and people like it, I think if mass manufacture brings the price down, a little bit, so they can get more people buying it. Obviously, the prices don't go down forever. All these companies will be out of business. But anyway, read out quite more about that one. There's quite a bit to read there at digiday.com, digiday.com. And we're moving on a little bit again. Right, immersive virtual reality interferes with default head trunk coordination strategies in young children. Now, we had a bit, so there was something we had last week, which was vaguely talking about younger children. This may actually be related. The piece we had last week actually was emphasizing that children react, not only react differently to adults in virtual reality, but also they react different from each other. There's different things about the individuals, and little is known about the effects on younger individuals. It's saying here, recent work suggests the virtual sensory environment alters visuomotor integration in healthy adults. That's yeah. Um, Young children currently rely on end-block control of their upper body before sequentially acquiring a segmental control around the age of 7, and that they resort to the former strategy under challenging conditions. Oh, this is fascinating reading, isn't it? If this is your field, it would probably make sense. And look at all this. You've got little annotations everywhere, and it's another academic thing, really, isn't it? At least it's not a complicated academic site. This is actually published at nature.com, nature.com. And we'll put that on the way. While I'm at it, I'll remind you that you can find the links to all these articles at twitter.com/Malburns, Malburns. And if you do follow them from my Twitter feed, you will find the link takes you to the exact page. Obviously, if you're listening to me now and have just gone and typed in nature.com in a browser on the screen, you won't have come straight to this article. On the front page, you're going to have to root through nature.com to actually find it. So, yeah. Right, so nature.com, that was it. Right, moving on. This could be a bit sort of anecdotal interest here. This is at arpost.co, just co, arpost.co. And it's all about something called Vision Buddy, which is an innovative television watching system for people with low vision. I was curious about this, I must say. Remember that many of the headsets, the helmets that you can get now, and future glasses and things like that, are just as good for blowing up a TV screen and watching that in front of you as they are for actual virtual environments and stuff. So there's a bit of overlap here. Vision Buddy is designed to help individuals with low vision maintain or improve their independence and conduct daily activities with use. Easy to use dedicated television watching system for people with limited vision. And it doesn't mean you don't have to wear something that's pretty close to being a helmet, I see there. But you just need to plug it into a cable box or any HDMI output, and you're ready to go. And of course, if you've got a computer monitor and you're playing a game for an HDMI output, you can just plug that in too. So HDMI outputs are virtually everywhere these days, and The way it connects just brings it forward and gives it extra clarity. I know for a fact that I could use something like that, but I would not be willing to stick a bloody helmet on my head like that, poor chap. Um, in order to get it. But anyway, it's interesting. All this technology is sort of linked together in many ways, and probably you'll find things collide in the future. If you're using it, you get full 4K HD resolution and a 16 megapixel camera. Um, yeah, because yes, it uses camera technologies too. Where are we? Yeah, it's also this version 2 has also undergone improvements on all of its 3 viewing modes, giving the device increased clarity when using the reading and magnification mode, and advanced rendering and image display. So you can configure all sorts of stuff. And I guess this is why it's got a camera in it. So you can see who you're hugging. Do you really need a helmet and a camera? Low vision or not? I mean, do you really need it for that? I don't know. Anyway, there it is, and whatever. So read this review at arpost.co, arpost.co, and we'll put Vision Buddy away for now and move to my Vision Buddy, the web page. Right, this is a site called Golf Business, which I guess is the golf geographic location. GULFBUSINESS.com. And they're talking about new realities in the virtual world. And yeah, sorry. I like that picture. If you didn't notice, I'm just saving it. Oh god, the frozen bloody. Oh no, there we are. Right. Thought I'd frozen the page for a sec. Right. Okay. So they talk about being a new technology, global organisations, VR widespread, etc. The deployment of 5G powered smartphones and 5G networks, immersive technologies, and virtual reality have witnessed significant growth. There will be an event called GTEx Global being held October 17th to 21st, which I guess is about 2 weeks' time. No, 1 week's time, more like it. We're on the 10th already, aren't we? Right. Did I announce it? Oh, yeah, of course I did. Right. Sorry. Right. Showcasing leading technologies, including virtual and augmented reality, blockchain, artificial intelligence, drones, robotics, 3D printing, and the Internet of Things. Oh, and I haven't got this link up, actually, but I did receive one this morning. Well, it's a post. It wasn't a fully fledged article to link to. But apparently in Saudi Arabia, they have the first, it's a robot, a virtual person basically. It's a robot controlled by an artificial intelligence. And she is already a registered citizen of, I think it's United Arab Emirates or something. She's the first, and at the moment the only one. But the first sort of virtual human, artificial intelligence that is actually registered as a resident of a country, and has nationality. Anyway, I mean, she's got it into her head she wants a baby. And all this has to do with the way the AI works. I mean, she is meant to try and be as human as possible to, quite frankly, the humans who she makes. Ah, yes, indeed. So, anyway, our android or robot or AI or whatever, she wants a baby. I can't remember. I don't think there was anything specific about what they're going to do about this request. But it just goes to show, that once an AI she's been up and running since 2017, I believe. So she's had a good 4 or 5 years to sort of for her brain, her AI, to sort of integrate with and emulate human brains. So she's that was 7, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, she's had 4 or 5 years to think about it. And most females do tend to think about babies after a period of time, don't they? So anyway, that'd be quite interesting. And I don't know, no, they should make a TV series out of her life. That would go down well. Is it science fiction? No, it's reality. But it's, well, think about it, folks. Anyway, would you let your pet android have a baby? Although maybe it's just the hoovering, and the baby would be like have a mini hoover to get into the hard to reach places. Robots indeed. Never mind.
Way out there, right?
Yeah, well, Amazon's got its Roombas, hasn't it? The baby ones for hard to reach places. Can make an advert. Oh, sorry, there is one already, but that's for Heineken, the lager. Reaches out to it works it out to reach places. The lager that gets where others can't. Oh god. Right. Anyway. So I've gone completely off track here. So they are obviously advertising GTEx Global in a week or so here too, and they're talking about investment. This is all worldwide. As the pandemic fades, spending on AR and VR is expected to rise from 12 billion US in 2020 to 72.8 billion in 2024, which again is a couple of years away yet, but that's a pretty major incremental increase. Many enterprises are making necessary investments to address needs to outlive ones brought on by the pandemic, and for many, the adoption of AR VR is just the tip of the iceberg. It goes on about transforming industry and all a bit from the UK there, various stuff. I'm just going to click through to GTEx Global, which I don't think I did. Just to see if there's anything more interesting there. Oh, there's a walking talking page, isn't it? Oh well. Go walking talking page. Exhibits, buy a ticket, etc. And yeah, it's very much a corporate site you see there, really, isn't it? Yeah. So you can read about it there. That's gitex.com is their site. So I'm going to put those two away. And Voices of VR is back. Well, sort of back. They're up to edition 1.6 this week. And it's audio as usual. It's a preview of the London Film Festival and an expanded selection of immersive stories with Ulrich Scharoff. Oh god, that's the picture I meant to keep. The London Film Festival is organised by the British Film Institute every year. Although I think last year they just had something virtual, and they've expanded it this year too. And short for they're called BFI. So this is actually known as the BFI London Film Festival. Somebody posting about this during the week referred to it as the FBI London Film Festival.
Funny.
And yes, bit of concern there. We know the CIA owned the fast book. Somebody thought the FBI had taken over the London Film Festival. Anyway, I don't know if it was a typo or if there's somebody being stupid. But I haven't got the screenshot, unfortunately, but it was one of those humorous moments. Right. Yeah, so there's a little bit of anecdotal information at the back here, and their extended program. That's an inset video, believe it or not, but not as small. But basically, the main thing is it's Ken By and his actual podcast. So he's talking about the film festival with people. Ulrich Strauss being the person sort of in charge of what they call the expanded festival. In other words, you've got the regular festival and the expanded festival, and he's also a founding curator of a similar festival in Hamburg, Germany, which was one of the first immersive storytelling festivals to have a virtual exhibition etc., etc. So, voicesofvr.com as ever for that one. Move that one. Right, this week in XR, this is Charlie Fink with the text highlights for the week over at Forbes, Forbes.com, Forbes.com. And well, he introduces himself. Again, this is a roundup thing, unlike Howling Ghost. It's, this is the end of the week, of course. Right. Oh, yes. Well, of course. Now, I started this show by talking about the fast book, the disaster on Monday and Friday. But of course, what I've forgotten to mention was at the very same time all this was going on, Facebook were busy trying to dismiss the allegations of a former executive who was basically gave some shocking and devastating revelations about Facebook programs its algorithm to maximize profits, including doing all sorts of things it says it would never think of doing, like, sort of deliberately trying to encourage children to sign up and, treating them well. It's increasingly clear giant tech companies are harming the public for profit. Well, she gave evidence in Congress, I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, and very credible in both the media and Congress, so people are taking it very seriously. And politicians on both the left and right have been kind of embracing her thoughts, so to speak, although for different reasons they hastened around. The tech companies are harming the public. Their attempts to cover up data indicating this is true is understandable, and definitive proof they must be regulated. The Facebook PR machine dutifully trotted out its visionary but tone-deaf CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, in a lame attempt to discredit Huadran, the reporter, by portraying her as an angry ex-employee. It didn't stick. And then on Monday, I think he wrote this before the repeat performance on when was it? Friday. I did a tweet. I don't know where it is. I can't remember exactly what I said. I think I wrote, dear Facebook. Thank you for the demo. I was most impressed. We'll be in touch, Mr. Putin. Well, anyway.
Do we need a laugh track for that?
Yeah, come on, over it. I know that they've gone invisible, but can't you laugh at my jokes sometimes? I know I'm not very funny, but yes, I am funny. Oh dear. When Zucker and FRL talk about VR, they are the beloved visionary inventor, Dr. Jekyll, but wielding enormous. Oh yes, that's right. Facebook resembles Mr. Hyde in the Doctor. Yes, let's just say Mr. Fisk has gone overboard a little bit on Jekyll and Hyde here. Yeah, Fink rather, not Fisk. I get these two confused. Oh yes, and Twitch also in a separate thing went down as well, which pissed off her because it's almost bigger than YouTube for a lot of live streaming. And it was equally problematic. It was apparently it was an almost similar instance to the problem that hit the Facebook servers, but not actually related as far as anybody knows. We are assuming that, of course, that we have been told everything and that there aren't any outside parties doing this willy-nilly to everybody. Code-based operating system for Amazon's popular live streaming service was stolen and posted on the internet. Jeff Bezos paid $970 million for this. The cyber thief wrote in a forum post, "We're giving it away for free." Yeah, well, Oh yes, and I did have a picture for this, but I didn't put it up, did I? Right. I haven't watched this yet. I've downloaded it. There's a series on Netflix called Squid Game. But also there's to tie in with it. There's a VR game, and it's rather odd because the series is obviously about a game, and then there's a game about the game that's about a game. If you see what I mean. So it's actually free on SideQuest, which I think is part of the Oculus thing. Um, uh, Whether that will work if Facebook go down, I don't know. But there you go. Um, yeah, there we go, and an advert for the actual podcast as well. So find that roundup from Charlie at Forbes.com, Forbes.com. Putting that one away. Stanford University. Oh, this one's interesting. I put it here rather than in Metaworld News. This is actually about Sciencebase have a sort of slightly more enterprise-based offshoot called Break Room. And this post is on a blog they have there called breakroom.net. So BREAKROOM.net. I actually booked my place for something that's in about a couple of weeks, which is, I think it's going to be a talk with Matthew, what's his name? I'll let you know nearer the date. It's only a good couple of weeks away. It's the second in a series, the first one of which I'm Philip Rosedale a month or so ago. But in the meantime, a company called MediaX have something called the H Star Institute, and they at Stanford, and they've got over 200 interdisciplinary labs and wherever they've extended into Break Room, which of course is Break Room actually is Sciencebase. It's just a different branding, but you have all your assets and contacts and everything for Sciencebase supported into it. It's not really. It's just technically separate because it has some things in it that others don't have. Anyway, they narrowed consideration to a group of 7 virtual platforms and met it with each to inquire further. Several were contenders but failed to deliver on their requirements at a demo, so they ultimately chose Sciencebase Breakroom. It offered cross-platform support, browser-based access with no firewalls, and access was available worldwide, even within China. They selected a business-centric expo environment and worked closely with the Breakroom team to customize and develop the virtual world for their specific needs. So really, this is an article about what they did and built and stuff in Sciencebase, or rather in Breakroom. Whether or not the public can get in there, I'm not entirely sure, but there is a video posted somewhere too of I guess the event space built in Sciencebase too. So read more about this at breakroom.net, BREAKROOM.net, and there's other stuff there about events that are happening in Sciencespace's Breakroom subsidiary, so to speak, there as well. Right. Okay, we're back to the Scar Ghost. Yoo-hoo! Ooh. Ooh. Okay, well, can't hear him. Anyway, this is a review of Pico Neo 3 Pro with a DisplayPort cable review and amazing PC VR experience. So, yeah, this was mentioned in something from earlier in the week, but this was just published yesterday, I think. He's got hold of the Pico Neo 3 and fully approves of it, basically. So it's a hands-on review. There's also a little video there, but no, I'm not going to show you that because it's 16 minutes.
Hello, I'm Fantani, the Scout Ghost.
Yes. It's 16 minutes long, so I'll tell you what I will do. I will run browser. Okay. I'll try and put it into the well, it's here, so you can read it from this thing anyway. Okay, unlike HTC and the Fastbook which use USB-A to USB-C cables. Pico's chosen a different approach, and it uses DisplayPort on the PC and connecting to the headset via a dedicated USB-C to DisplayPort cable. So it points out that that's slightly different, and the unboxing and everything else. I'm not going to go through this, but if you're interested in new headphones and what, new helmets and what one offers above the other, it's a shame, we keep reading about more and more better helmets, as I said, but they still all look like helmet. One improvement would be glasses, please, that do the same thing. But there you go. Not likely for a while, I don't think. So once again, you can find this at SKARREDGHOST.com, and in the case of this particular link, without a sound effect, it seems. Right. Okay, moving on. Putting that one away. Okay, down to the last two here. Okay, academicoup.com. Right, Oxford University Press, obviously. academic.oup.com. Homuncular flexibility in virtual reality. They do like writing these academic papers about all sorts of stuff, don't they? VR allows people to inhabit avatar bodies that differ from their own, and this can produce significant psychological and physiological effects. The concept of homuncular flexibility proposes that users can learn to control bodies different from their own by changing the relationship between tracked and rendered motion. We examine the effects of remapping movements in the real world onto an avatar that moves in novel ways. In experiment 1, they moved their legs more than their arms in conditions where leg movements were more effective. In experiment 2, they controlled 3 armed avatars, learning to hit targets. Well, you get the idea, don't you? Anyway, all this research, absolutely fascinating indeed. But it's good people are doing it, I suppose. God knows how much money they spent on sort of obscure line of thought, really. But there you go. So homuncular flexibility in virtual reality. Oxford University Press, as I say, academic.oup.com. And that's all I can say about that one, really. And the last text link of the week. This is today at vrscout.com, vrscout.com. And the Lightfield Lab have unveiled modular holographic video wall. I was excited. There was a couple of other posts that obviously I didn't put on today's list, which are probably the very same thing, actually. They've effectively created physical holograms. Now, as you probably know, holograms traditionally, you sort of move your hand, right, and your hand goes through them, if you see what I mean. I find it hard to quite understand this, but apparently what's happening here is there's a sort of hologram, but everywhere that the hologram is sort of made up of some kind of particles. So you can actually sort of touch the hologram. I don't know how fully tactile it is or whatever. And certainly very realistic holograms, basically. And the thing is, like traditional holograms, you don't need a headset for this. You can actually walk into a room, as you can see them looking there, and the hologram is there, and you can, well, obviously you can't put like a hologram, you can't put your hand through the surface, but this allows the actual elements in the hologram to actually reach out from the screen they start with. So I'm fascinated. I can't really tell you much more about it at the moment. But once considered science fiction, holographic technology has evolved at a rapid pace over the last few years. Whether it's a personalized system such as Looking Glass Portrait or more advanced experiences such as Microsoft's multilingual mixed reality hologram. powered by hologram. Pardon me. I just need a sip of something to stop the croaking.
Mm-hmm.
Either that or make it worse. Who knows? Right. I never know. Take a sip and see.
Right.
Take a sip and see is what I say. Right. Yeah. Escape the screen. It still seems to be sort of screen based, but I mean, it's what projects out of it and how tactile it is. I think that's the main thing here. A load of tech detail, of course. This is quite a long little post there. But if you're interested in that stuff, and I think it's fascinating, then check out that post at vrscout.com, VRSCOUT.com. And that is it for the links as such. So we're going to move to the weekly video collection, as it were, at my Mastodon site, which is mastodon.social /@ Metaworld. Right, and yeah, the latest one. Again, it didn't come up very easily this week. I went back and checked last week's This Week in XR podcast with Philip Rosedale. There is no video version of it. It has not. It has not surfaced, and Charlie Fink didn't even bother to reply when I wrote to him saying, "Is the one, or where is it? What happened?" So who knows? Yes, very, very polite of him. So
maybe he's not allowed to reply.
Well, no, it's independent here. It's not Forbes. Yeah. It's just too self-centered, probably. Anyway, they've got a guest this week called Tim Roos, and I actually did tweet the audio one of this, and only got this one today, but they did both come out at about the same time. And I'm just going to give you a hint of what's there.
It's October 8th, 2021. I'm Charlie Fink. It's This Week in XR. I'm here with my co-host, Ted Chilowitz. And let's get straight to the news, Ted.
Morning, Charlie.
Kind of a light week. Facebook. Oh, my God.
Yeah. The good, bad, the ugly, and all things related to XR sort of married in the middle of all that.
What a freaking mess. And I just don't know if they didn't do anything wrong this week. It's so funny. The title of my column was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Facebook.
Yeah, of course, I read it just now.
When they're focused on VR, it's like a completely different company. But you can certainly see why there's such a low trust level among the denizens of the VR community because of Facebook's really blatant actions. Kara Swisher called them brazen in the New York Times. They don't seem to think anyone is ever, they're ever going to be held accountable. And honestly, I don't know how they can be. There's a need for regulation here. Companies cannot be trusted to act against their self-interest. So I don't know what the solution is. Again, Zuckerberg is clearly a genius and a visionary, but this one may be too personal for him.
Anyway, you better not play that all the way through. You can get more of that. It definitely was the week that was, wasn't it? Obviously, you can pick it up via my Twitter links or whatever, and if you need to, you can click through there to the actual This Week in XR site at YouTube, where it comes from. Okay, moving down. We met in Virtuality official trailer. This is VR chat, I believe.
VR is like a shared dream.
Hello, welcome to the community meetup. This is an event for you guys to show off the worlds you're making for VR chat. This is like a totally different medium of communication.
Right, I think you get the idea here. So it's 2.5 minutes, basically. It's just a short sort of intro to virtuality. The platform they're in there is actually VR chat. And there was nothing I could see there that showed them moving out of it. But for 3-minute clip, they can't visit every platform, can they? But the onus is on the empowerment of virtuality. We met in VR. This is how we met, etc., etc. So, you know, anecdotal there. And so is this one. I think it was Dr. Fran who sent me this one. This is a PR for a new platform called Cheerio, the first social VR matchmaking service. And I'm going to run this. I'm not sure how long it is, but you'll get the idea. I don't know if there's anything special about this, but it seems very familiar, but it is a new platform. So here we go. Oh God, it keeps doing this.
Hey everyone, I'm new here. I think the main reason I'm here is because I'm lonely and I want to make friends.
Hey, I'm Matt.
I'm actually on my way to Paris right now, if you'd like to come with.
Okay, enough of that. So, all that extraordinary realism is available in your Oculus Quest. And as you can see, it's yet another legless environment, and sort of I sometimes wonder with all this new puritanism going around, maybe they don't, maybe they would, to avoid people having sex in their virtual worlds, they figure they'll just have avatars with nothing below the waist. I mean, that figures, doesn't it? You know, everything below the waist doesn't exist. What can you do? Well, you know what I mean.
Not much.
Right, carry on down. Right, all night in New York City. Hang on, let me check the date on this. Yeah, 4 days ago. That was right. Metaverse versus Schmetaverse. Yeah, okay, gonna live without that. Super Ventures and all founder Orion Imbar is on it. Avi Barziv, who's Reality Prime. These are all people I seem to feel like I know, but they're basically names on Twitter and stuff like that. Let's just have a quickie look. This is an hour long, by the way, so I'm just going to go through to bits.
Hey everybody, and welcome to On Night NYC Metaverse versus Schmetaverse. Thank you all for joining us. I hope you are all doing well and enjoying the early days of fall. Can you smell it already? On Night is a monthly meetup organized by AR.org and not talk about the opportunity and how to capture it. Finally, we're definitely here to answer your questions, so feel free to drop your comments and questions.
The idea is there's some personal technology that knows about me, and you have yours that knows about you. And that is what's going out and fetching.
Okay, I could scroll through that for ages, couldn't I? And it basically, there's quite a lot in there, different people taking the camera. It's basically a filmed version of the social all nights that they have. They just do it online, and it's good, a good conversation. Or is, of course, Augmented World Expo, but it's as much AR and VR. And it's actually Tish Shoot, a friend of mine who actually founded it in the original instance, although she's not involved with it now. But they have chapters all over the world, and so for example, this one's in New York. It probably happens once a month, but there's other ones in Milan. I think there's another one in Italy, and that happens about once a month. So they're all rather sort of interesting to read. Right, 5 days ago. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right now, we're I don't know where to start. Just show you this. Basically, our friends at VR Download, or Upload VR, I should say, is the account. Sort of, they did their regular show on Monday, but while Facebook was down, they didn't manage to do the show, but something happened to their avatars. Wonder why. This is sort of what
We're
happened.
doing a show now that's pre-recorded because we don't have avatars. So yeah, we're live on the internet with our man from the 6th day here, our clone.
Do we have to check? Don't we check under his eyelids? Isn't that how we figure out whether he's the clone or not?
Maybe it's under the bottom lip of the eyelid. I can't remember because there's Blade Runner. They're under one spot.
Right.
And under this one, there's like dots to indicate how many copies they are. Right.
That's right. And the guy just wanted to get a new dog for his kids, and then the whole thing blew up. I mean, that was good. Hey, check out my glasses. Like, you can see that I have my glasses on underneath. Boy, I'll tell you what, man, the bald look isn't good for me. No.
As you can see, they were actually aware of what was happening to them, and they weren't exactly that happy. You'll find that on their channel, but I'm just moving down here. This is the actual show. It was VR download number 81, talking about Apple rumors, etc. Did you listen to this week, James?
I did, yep.
Yeah. So, quite sort of interesting, despite the fact that the visual impact was somewhat understated, wasn't it?
No, they made good fun of it. So
they did, yes.
Yeah.
They're good talkers, so whatever. Yeah. As I say, you can get it, follow my Twitter feed, or just go to Upload VR, or one word, but VR in capitals is the name of the YouTube account where they basically post the regular one, but they've posted other things, including that one we just showed you too. And 5 days ago, we're still. Oh, hang on. Oh, right. This one basically is the week before. It's 5 days ago that I posted it. If you remember last week, we couldn't find this.
Right.
For some crazy reason. Well, I did manage to find it, but of course, by the time I posted it, it's been tagged with the date of when I posted it, rather than when it was actually broadcast. So we can't have everything.
Does time really exist on the internet?
Not really. If it's a good show,
really.
You know, some of the best shows
it shows up when it shows up, right?
Yeah, and some of the best shows we now know are in the archive.
Yep.
Then the unfortunate thing is that Charlie Fink's show from last week with Philip doesn't seem to be appearing anywhere. Maybe that will show up in 5 years. Suddenly think, oh, I think we forgot this one.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I've just got an error occurred. Please try again later at YouTube.
Okay.
The clock is still going. 1 hour.
Yeah, OBS is happy.
Oh, I think, okay, well, I'll just reload the YouTube page. An error occurred. Try again later. But anyway, that's... right, so...
Virgin isn't planting something, is it?
No, I don't think so. Everything else seems to be absolutely fine here.
All right, good.
And, there was a couple of things coming in. I've got a live Twitter feed at the side of my screen here that you can't see. But I thought it might be an idea to have it open while doing the show to see if any comments, not about the show, but in general things coming in. 7:30 Eastern time. Sorry, it's not in Sansar, it's in Clubhouse. The Metaverse show it's called. How would you like your Metaverse? Episode 5. It's a live discussion. And with various people, including Dr. Fran, and it's 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, so that would be far too late for me. But it's clubhouse.com/event/XOVK8NNE, and I would certainly be at that. It's going down quite well, but it's just too late for us poor humble people in the UK. So we can't do it. We can't be everything and everywhere. Okay, what have we got here? Ooh, gosh, golly!
Oh.
It's the Facebook magazine. Sorry, that just came up. I couldn't resist putting that one up, could I? Oh no, another copy of it. Come on, go. Oh, come. Damn it. It doesn't. I can't get it to go away.
Get it to go away. All right.
Now I realise what was wrong there. Right, Matthew Ball explaining the metaverse. God, that is, yeah, I've already got that in the from a couple of weeks back. Yeah, okay. Well, this is a novel idea, but I can't read it. Oh, this is Squid Game. That's
okay.
that's a promo for the Netflix series. I've read a couple of books in the UK here from people who've watched the first 2 or 3 episodes. Send out mixed feelings. I guess people are used to all this stuff, maybe a bit more cynical than people who aren't. But sort of, I will give it a watch anyway. I doubt it will actually play the game because no time for that kind of thing. But there you go. And yeah, that looks to be a lot there. Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, we're at the we're at the end here.
We're at the end. Oh, no.
Yeah, I know what's happened. But so an hour and a quarter, I think. Oh yeah, YouTube is showing me a bit more or less live again. And,
all right.
Yeah. So let's go with the flow.
All right.
There's a picture, and let's go with the flow, so we can go with the flow, can't we? Right. Okay. Well, your comments, James, on the massive mega list of stuff we just covered.
Oh, just I have to do more thinking about AI babies.
Yeah, that is. Oh, that's weird. The insect thing on YouTube is. Oh no, it's come up again now.
Yeah, it was black for a while. That was Screenleap, though. Screenleap was black.
Yeah. No, it's back again. It's back again now.
Yeah.
Who knows?
My soundboard isn't back though. Oh, there it goes. Oh, I have. I have.
Right, the dog is your soundboard.
Well, I have keyboard shortcuts to trigger sounds, and
yeah.
Working. Now it works again.
Oh, now it works double. I think.
Yeah.
No, I thought that was a real world dog howling for a minute.
Did I just have to map the? I just don't know.
Your own very own domesticated hound from hell, or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Who knows? Yeah.
Just, it's Windows. Things sometimes choose to work, sometimes don't.
Well, quite. Yeah. It's I really don't ever want to touch this Windows 11 or whatever it is from what I've heard. You can't even, I must say the biggest complaints that people can't even move their taskbar to position they want it. Like I always have it at the top, never the bottom, and things like that. One of the only good things about Windows machines, to me, has always been the fact that to a great extent you can configure them to your own requirements. Even back in the Windows 95, the second edition, it had the active desktop, and you could use that for an intranet or a desktop or the web, and you could combine lots of things and download plugins that altered your start menu, and to basically make it what you wanted. But it seems Windows 11 has just destroyed any ability for the user to alter what Microsoft think is the ideal system. And as we know, the corporations that make these things are usually the worst judges of what they made. They think you will do it your way, and as things like Second Life has told us long ago, people don't do it the corporate way, they do it the way they want. And the platforms that provide you with the tools to customize it to your experience are the tools that succeed. Why Microsoft are going in the exact opposite direction is anybody's guess. But it certainly sounds like nobody with any creative instinct whatsoever likes the damn thing. Anyway, yes. So Windows is Windows. The Mac. Oh, I know what I forgot to do, but I don't think I can do it now. I've left it today. I wanted to load that world on the iPad that we featured last week, and I can actually broadcast the screen from the iPad into my desktop here. which would allow me to have shown it you in action. But I've got a feeling I'll just try that. Any other thoughts while I'm busy trying to open up? Damn it.
No, not really.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty free of thoughts today.
Right. Fair enough.
I try and do as little thinking as possible in this world.
This is these new iPads are bloody heavy to actually pick them up. Definitely designed to be.
Are you picking up the machine?
Well, no, yeah, but if I can load this app, here we are, stage first. Yeah, wait to get the lid open. Okay. Now I think we can do this. Forgive me, folks, for experimenting with you guys live
in real time. Right.
I've now got to find the app, because I normally quit it at startup, so that it isn't in the what's it called? God, it should be in my. I think it's R something. R. Remote mouse, remote motion. No, it's not an R. Right. Let me just see what we can do here. Locations. Okay. Oh, I think I have. No, that can't. Oh, yeah, of course. Right. How do I get the? Okay, I need to go to recently, I think. And it's got to be here somewhere. It launches into my tray at startup, and of course, once I quit it, I can't find it again, can I? I might have to leave this to next week if it doesn't show up. You can hear the sound in the background coming from the iPad.
Yeah, I can see the menu on the shared screen too.
Oh, this isn't the shared screen, yes. Well, I wish it was.
Yeah, but I can see your mouse moving and see the menus that are coming down over
with
right,
the flow exactly.
Image, right?
Yeah. I basically we can do it the old-fashioned way. Just go through here until it's a red icon, so I might be able to find it. Or you folks at home are saying, "Oh, that's all the stuff he's got on his stuffing," or whatever. Oh no, that's Microsoft Remote Desktop. What the? Where is it? It's a red thing. I can't miss it, surely. I assume there's a widget that will load it other than at startup, of course. Here we are, any debt. Oh, it's an A. That was easy enough then, wasn't it? Right, okay. Here we are, so, oh my God, how many bloody, this password is sufficiently safe. Oh God, right, okay, connection. Let's see. Oops, wrong, what's it? No. References. I think this is right. Okay. Brown. Oh. Oh, I see. Okay, this is not going to happen without I'm going to have to reconfigure it. Okay, that's a shame, basically, because I did mention this stage first thing. I mean, you know, it's given that it's one of these instant deployable things, you know, the avatar really looks like me, or like the, you know, idealized avatars I've had all over the place without the beard, actually. But, you know, it's just a great avatar. It's not Blur. What's their name? The other band who are performing here. But anyway, I can't do it now. No, not live. So sorry about that, folks. I've just wasted another 15 minutes of our show, I guess, trying to get something up and running. Okay, I think we can call it quits then. I think James didn't have any more thoughts, did you?
Nope. Free of thoughts.
Free of thoughts, are we all? That is the way we want to be. Then we can just blank out and, I don't know, watch TV or something. Right. Okay, well, we'll be back next week. Hope you've enjoyed this week's news, what there was of it. And a quick competition for next week. If you count how many times you are unable to access Facebook or any one of its services, or any one of the services that need a Facebook login to log in, and add them all up, and then we'll see who's worked out the highest number when we come on air next week. Right. Right. So happy competitioning on that one. Right. Okay. So it's goodbye from him,
and it's goodbye from him.
Goodbye from the two of us, in fact, because XR, AR, VR, MR. The M word. Well, sorry, MR. When it comes to all that stuff, we are. Indeed, we are. Okay, so have a good week, everybody. Keep yourself safe. Avoid the plague, for want of a better word. Just keep yourself safe. Use your head. And sort of don't believe what the government says for some reason. But it seems that it doesn't matter what you think of the government. It seems that whenever you hear a bit of official policy, like it's safe to go out now, people take it for granted and go and do it. And I think we owe it to ourselves to ask ourselves, is it really? Remember, winter is coming. And this is real. It's not Game of Thrones. So, there you go. Right, until next week, it's bye for now. See you then. Oh, great. So presumably the audience came back at some point.